I'm Carter Ahrens, Team Lone Star Disc, and this is my in the bag. I've had this bag for 2.5 weeks probably, and I'll start off with my putting putters. These I putt with V2 Jackrabbits. They fit perfectly in my hand, have a tiny bead, and they're really good in wind, and they just have a consistent fade that I really like. And I'll go to my short approach disc. I have 2 armadillos. They're both, or one's Bravo, one's Alpha. The Alpha one's a little bit more overstable, so it goes straight. If I throw it like 60%, then I do a lot of standstill up shots from like 100 to 150 feet with it. And this one's a little bit flippier. Throw this one for like 200 to 250 if I want to throw something on slight hyzer and turn a little bit, or if even shorter, just go dead straight. Then just got these 2 gnomes. D2 plastic for this one, and I think this is Bravo plastic. They're exactly like the armadillo, they're just a tad more overstable, and I can throw them a little bit harder and they won't flip, and they're really good in the wind also. And they both fly identical, it's just different feel, and if I want something to sit versus skip. Then I have 2 penny putters. This one's a little dirty. I have a glow penny putter. It's a little bit flippier. It's really nice for straight shots if I'm throwing it a little bit softer. Then for further shots, it has a nice turn. Then this one's slightly more overstable. I throw it for like 350-foot shots if there's no ceiling, or just consistent hyzers. And they go super straight, and they're super consistent in the more gummy plastic. And I throw putters, or I try to throw putters, mids, and fairways in Bravo plastic. Then distance drivers are all Alpha plastic. This, onto mid-ranges, Texas Ranger. It's really good for like super straight shots if I need to like hyzer flip something, or if I'm throwing it pretty hard, I can throw it flat and it'll turn nicely. It's basically just a farther penny putter, or if I need like the penny putter flight and if it's low ceiling. Then the midi. I have 2 midis actually. One glow and one Bravo. The glow one, if I throw it hard, it'll go dead straight. Then if I want to throw it a little bit softer, if there's maybe like wind, too much wind for like the penny putter, I'll throw the glow midi. Has a nice fade on it if I throw it softer. Then the Bravo one is a little bit more stable. I throw it flat and it just has a consistent fade every single time. Then onto probably one of my only forehand discs that I throw, the Walker. If I need like a short little forehand up shot, this thing's really good. And I have it in the glow plastic because it's a little bit straighter. I feel like the other ones are a little bit too overstable, and the glow plastic is very torque resistant. So with my forehand, it's not as smooth as my backhand, so I can't throw much, but this thing is really good for my forehand. Then on to fairway drivers. I have an Alpha Lariat. This thing, it's pretty flippy for me. I like it for like low ceiling rollers or just like straight rollers. I'll throw it on hyzer for like a straight roller. Then if it's a low ceiling roller, I'll just throw it hard and flat and it'll get down and kind of just go left and come back at the very end. It's probably one of the best roller discs I've ever thrown. Then I have one Bravo Frio. This thing is super straight if it's low ceiling and too far for the Texas Ranger, I'll throw the Frio. It flies exactly the same, just goes further. Then I have 3 Brazos. The glow one goes super straight if I throw it super hard and flat. It's just a super nice straight fairway driver. Then I have 2 Bravo Brazos, and these 2, I basically just do hyzers with them. They are super consistent, and since it's a little bit of a smaller rim, I like doing like a modified fan grip where I tuck the pointer finger and it just comes out super clean, and it's just nice and overstable. Then I have 2 Mad Cats. I think they fly super similar to the Brazos. It just might go a little bit further, and for me, I do flex shots with them. I force them over and they come out nicely. I feel like the Brazos is a little bit too straight for force overs. It'll hold it, but this Mad Cat will fight out. And if it's a little bit too windy for the Brazos, this is a perfect hyzer disc if it's a little. And it's just really good disc. Then distance drivers. Normally have way more distance drivers, but the fairway drivers are so good, so my fairway drivers kind of take over my bag. And I have 1 bayonet. This is for like max distance. If I want to throw something high, flat, it'll just turn a lot and always come back. Or for occasional forehands, I'll throw this thing. And I've actually got my first ace is with a bayonet forehand, and it wasn't very far. My forehand's not that accurate. Then 4 alpha warbirds, and all my distance drivers are alpha. This one I got right before a tournament, and this thing it's one of the flippier ones I've thrown, but it's still super torque resistant. I can throw it really hard and it'll fly the same every time. I can just throw this one flat and hard and it'll turn nicely, then always finish. Then the super consistent, I have this one. My first ever Lone Star disc is alpha warbird, and I can just throw this one flat and it basically just goes dead straight. It's probably my most consistent distance driver in my bag. Very nice. Then I also have another warbird. This one's more for hyzers. Throw this one like on slight hyzer, flip up, then go left. Or if I throw something on slight ante and I want something to fight out a little bit, I'll throw this. Then I have a hooligan disc Yeet. It's basically right in between these 2. It'll turn a lot, but it'll fade more than this other warbird. And it's really good for in the wind, it'll fly like the purple one. Then last disc is an alpha Crockett. These things are nice and overstable, super torque resistant, and they fight in the wind. Realize if I need something to push on hyzer, the warbird is a little bit too straight, so I'll just throw this thing on hyzer and it might flip up a tad, but it'll always fade really hard. This is super good, overstable distance driver. Thank you for watching my In the Bag, and I'm Carter Ahrens.